as we are getting ready for Rosh Hashanah and for the High Holy Days. And the energy, at least in the Jewish world on all different levels, is increasing. But really how our tradition is holding us is right now, we're in the Slichot period. For Slichot, we know as kind of a series of prayers that's usually on the Saturday night before Rosh Hashanah or Yom Kippur. But really, traditionally, for Ashkenazic Jews, the tradition is that once the Slichot service begins, which was last Saturday night, these Slichot prayers are said every day, all the way up until Rosh Hashanah. So there's this sense of being kind of in this mode of introspection and forgiveness. Among Sephardic Jews, the Slichot prayers begin at the beginning of the month of Elul. So it's a whole month of doing this in the morning and blowing shofar and getting ready to awaken. And in our past sessions, we've talked a number of times about, within meditation practice and within life, the balance between justice and compassion. And certainly on the High Holy Days, what the Midrash says is that on Rosh Hashanah, God sits on the throne of judgment. And Rosh Hashanah is called Yom Hadin. And again, not judgment in that negative way, but judgment in that sense of, let's look at what's real. Let's look at what's real. Let's look at the way we're connected. Let's look at the way that we're not connected. These are part of the assessment, the accounting of the soul. But then Yom Kippur is called Yom HaRachamim, the day of compassion. And it says that the rabbis say that on the time between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, God moves from the throne of judgment to the throne of compassion. And so there's this sense of holding both of these qualities that each of the holidays are like two wings of. And that's something that we bring in for our life. And really the how that translates into meditation practice is that we want to be able to be present and open-minded and discerning with what our moment-to-moment experience is, what our truth is. And at the same time, we want to have an openness, a sense of embracing, even loving kindness towards our own experience, that instruction where nothing is a disturbance, right? Nothing is a disturbance. You can't do it wrong. There's space for everything. That is that element of compassion that needs to be a part of everything. What I want to focus on this morning, as we're getting ready for Rosh Hashanah, for Yom Hadin, the Day of Judgment, is on truth, on being real. And that's that sense of judgment. Again, not in a negative way. I feel like I have to qualify every time, but a sense of just being real with what our experience is, real with what things are hard, what things are elevated, what ways do we miss the mark? What ways do we hit the mark? What are the ways that we aren't the best towards the people that we love? And what are the good things that we do and that we are. And it's about really being able to be real about truth. The Rabbi, the Hasidic spiritual master, who was probably the deepest, most prolific writer and teacher about the importance of truth, of being truthful to ourselves, not just to others in spiritual practice, is Rabbi Menachem Mendel of Kotsk, or known as the Kotsker Rebbe, 19th century student of the Baal Shem Tov. And the Kotsker Rebbe had a famous saying that is beautiful, and you gotta hold on to it to follow it. It says, if I am I, because you are you, and you are you because I am I, then I am not I, and you are not you. But if I am I because I am I, and you are you because you are you, then we can talk. Then we can talk. So again, bringing that again, I know many of you followed it, but I'll just take it slowly. If I am I because I am I, because you are you, and you are you because I am I, right? This is a sense to say, I'm gonna let how you are, how you that I'm in relationship with define how I am and how I'm gonna relate and how I'm gonna be. It's kind of like saying, I'm not gonna in a close relationship, I'm not gonna bring up the issues that are really important to me because you're gonna fly off the handle, right? Is that familiar? Is there things that we just don't bring up because, and and at some point we can look at it and say, I don't really need to bring up these particular things so I can avoid this conflict. But sometimes we do need to bring it up. Sometimes if we don't bring it up, there's resentment. But if I am I because you are you, meaning if I'm not bringing it up because you're going to blow up at me, then I am not I and you are not you, meaning I'm not actually living my truth. And here's the thing, I'm not actually allowing you to live your truth. Because if you're blowing up because of something that I said, then there's a real issue there that we also need to explore. We also need to have space for why that's so upsetting to you and be able to be present for that. So this ability to be real, no matter how that affects another person, is really the message of the Kotzker. And of course, I want to say, be really clear about this. When we talk about justice and compassion, there's a balance, right? There's a balance that sometimes we don't tell the whole truth for the sake of peace. And there is a place for that. And the rabbis have some wonderful things to say about that, where those things happen and where they don't. But for the Kotzker, and if you're a student of the Kotzker, don't think about coddling each other or coddling yourself. It's truth all the way. And so, as we're beginning to get ready for Rosh Hashanah, and we're able to be together in a meditative space, in a place where we can pay attention to our own inner experience, I really want us to focus on being real with our experience. Not judging it, not thinking that it has to be anything other than it is, not shielding ourselves from our own experience because of the implications it might have, not denying our own experience because of what it might say about who we are. We might have an image of ourselves in a certain way, like, that I never, I don't ever want to get irritated about these kinds of little things. And so when we start to get irritated about little things that don't fit our own self-identity for ourselves, we may try to push that down or deny that or not be real about that. And yet it's what's true for us. Okay, so it doesn't fit into our self-identity of ourselves or who we'd like to be. But that means that we have to change our self-identity of ourselves to create some space for what the truth is. Yeah. Yeah, I get really irritated about whatever this is, and I'd like to not be. It's not who I want to be, but it's what's here. So our meditation practice this morning is going to be about just being real, being present with our experience, no matter what it is that comes up. So find yourself a comfortable place to sit. And we'll start with a melody, a nigun, and then go into the silence. And want to invite you to sing the nigun in your own space. Let the vibration and the melody take you more inward. Inanai, nai, nananai, nai, nanai, nai. Inanai, nai, nananai, nai, nanai. Inanai nai nananai nai nanai nai. Inanai nai nananai nai nanai. Yai rai 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 rai. Yai rai 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 rai. Yai rai 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 yai rai rai rai. Yai rai 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 rai. Nanai nai nanai nai nanai nai. Nanai nai nanai nai nanai. Nanai nai nanai nai nanai nai. Nanai nai nanai nai nanai. Yai rai 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 rai. Yai rai 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 rai. Yai rai 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 yai rai rai rai. Yai rai 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 rai. Nanai nai nanai nai nanai nai. Nanai nai nanai nai nanai. Nanai nai nanai nai nanai nai. Nanai nai nanai nai nai nai. Let yourself settle in to your position, to your body, noticing the contact of your bottom and the chair, the cushion, the place where your feet meet the floor, the distance between the bottom of your spine and the top of your head, the space between your ears, your arms as they hang out of your shoulder sockets. As you're aware of all those sensations in your body in this moment, the position, the shape of your body in space, also become aware of the movement of breath, noticing how the inhale affects the body, the gentle expansion into your belly or your chest. And follow the breath back out on the exhale, noticing the body's contraction. Just being present to this moment in time and space. Breath, body. Noticing the transition points in breath. The place where the inhale reaches its maximum length and switches to an exhale. The place where the exhale reaches its maximum length and switches to an inhale. As you're aware of breath and the shape of your body in space, be conscious of the sounds that are in your room or beyond your room, letting that sensory input be a part of the awareness of breath and of body. If there is any strong sensations that aren't comfortable, just allow yourself to be with them, noticing their texture and shape, but also being aware of everything else in your field of experience, breath, body, sound, so that you're not exclusively focused on the strong sensation, but you allow it to be. And it's really our allowing our experience to be, even with physical sensations or emotions or thoughts that are not comfortable. That is the presence of compassion, is the presence of rachamim, that allows us to stay with and to look at what is, to be real about what is. If we didn't have that presence of compassion, of spaciousness, of allowing all parts of our experience to be as they are without having to fix it or change it. If we didn't have that, we would not be able to be real and present in the moment with what is happening, especially if uncomfortable. But if we only had compassion, if we only had space but did not have the discipline of focus, the commitment to pay attention to all parts of our experience, we would just wander aimlessly. We'd be lost. We'd let our emotions guide the ship. And as you pay attention to breath and body sensation and sensory input of sound, even noticing the image and thoughts that come and go in your mind, allow yourself to intuit, to open to the fundamental divine energy that is a part of every part of your experience, that everything, breath, body, sounds, thoughts, everything is an expression of energy. And that energy is an expression of the Creator, the One, the Presence. That's another aspect of opening to truth. One level is that the uncomfortable sensations in my back or my shoulders are present. They have heat or tightness. But on another level, it's also true that, like everything else in the universe, everything else in my own being, they're expressions of energy. And depending on the nature of my own faith, the deeper level is that they're an expression of the Holy One. At some point in our process of paying attention to our moment to moment experience, we sense that presence that fills and expresses itself in every aspect of our experience. If we touch that, if we intuit that, hold fast. Hold fast to the reality of that presence as it manifests in every part of our experience. This is the truth that's beyond drama. That's beyond the coming and the going, the arising and the falling. That the one presence is dancing with itself. I'm going to be quiet now for a period of time and invite you to just keep practicing being here with every part of your experience, sensing into the presence, the energy that makes up the unfolding of moment to moment experience. And when you touch that level of energy, hold tight. Let it draw you into presence. Nanai, nai, nananai, nanai, nanai, nai. Nanai, nai, nananai, nai, nanai. Nanai, nai, nananai, nai, nanai, nai. Nanai, nai, nananai, nai, nanai. Yai, rai, 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 rai. Yai, rai, 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 rai. Yai, rai, 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 yai, rai, rai, rai. Yai, rai, 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 rai. Nanai, nai, nananai, nai, nanai, nai. Nanai, nai, nananai, nai, nanai. Nanai, nai, nananai, nai, nanai, nai. Nanai, nai, nananai, nai, nanai. Yai, rai, 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 rai. Yai, rai, 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 rai. Yai, rai, 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 yai, rai, rai. Yai, rai, yai, rai, 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 rai. So feel free to unmute yourself if you'd like to share a comment or a question um, about anything that we talked about earlier, about the meditation practice itself, anything.
Hi.
Hi.
I was just really mesmerized today. With my eyes closed, I kept visioning this light that was coming in when I was breathing, and sometimes even when I was exhaling, there was a light, and I was just really focusing on the light and the presence, and it was just it was really beautiful.
Nice. When you say you were focusing on the light and the presence, what do you mean by that?
Well, that how it would sometimes the light would change, and just that it was there,
Yeah.
and that just with my eyes closed, how I could see this like light coming into my life, coming out, and it was, and how it was changing. And
Nice.
so, and sometimes then when I really tried to look at it, I couldn't see it. So then I would just try to let it go and just you let it come to me.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So really kind of the sense was to just be with it as it is, like you would be with any other part of your experience as it is. For some of us, it might be being with sensations in our body, but in this case, this experience of the light, the real practice is just like you were doing, being with it. It does its own thing, not trying to control it, hold on to it, whatever it is, but then to sense to sense that underlying presence and energy that is within that light is an expression of, just like every other part of your experience is an expression of that same energy. So it sounds like a very unique and beautiful moment. Thanks
It
for
was.
sharing.
Thank you.
Sue, did you have something you wanted to share?
No, I was just unmuting myself.
Okay.
Thank
Great.
you. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. I'm so relaxed now.
Good. Anybody else? Lisa.
So I found my
Oh, hold on. Oh, wait. We can't hear you for some reason. Try muting and unmuting again. Let's see what happens.
Is that better?
Yep.
Okay, so I found myself reflecting on your words of living in your truth, And I've decided that my new mantra is going to be, today I live in my truth. And a lot of the words that you spoke, I was really able to embrace them and actually apply them to myself. And I found myself just immersing myself in it, and I felt like I was in a sacred space during this meditation practice. And I really appreciated that, especially during this time of renewal and reflection. And with everything that's going on, I find myself really, really reflecting on what's happening. And I really appreciated that. And once again, I wish it could have gone on a little bit longer, like we do at your meditation retreat. I could have used another 20, 30 minutes just to sit in my sacred space that I sort of enveloped myself in. So thank you.
Welcome. Me too, Lisa. Me too. I wish it could go on for longer also. You know, something that you said about just about this as a sacred space, you know, right? And the word is kedusha, is that there's some holiness here. And yes, we are in this, you know, this holy time, you know, we're in this time of the high holy days. And but just the reminder is that our tradition wants us to live in this space as much as possible. I mean, that's really what Shabbat is really about, right? Shabbat is really about not just the practice of taking the time out to be in that space, but to really, like within Friday night to Saturday night, but really to try to invite and create spaces as much as we can. And yes, we are totally constrained by the vicissitudes of life, the doings that we have to do. But the real sense is to say, you know, we need to keep striving for it. It's a top priority. It is a top priority because because as we know, time goes so fast, and all of the experience, whether there's experiences of our kids or of our work in the world or whatever, it goes by like this. And we don't want to miss it, you know, and not missing it means not just missing, you know, being aware of it happening, but being aware of the holiness of it, the preciousness of it. So thank you.
Rabbi Code.
Yes.
The other part of truth is learning how to communicate it, which I think that the temple has done some work with the classes on the practice of communication, how to communicate your truth to the people that you need to communicate with.
Yes.
And you know, for me, that's my challenge once again for this new year. How to communicate and be heard without creating more barriers, I guess you would say.
Yes, that is something that we're all growing and learning together, you know, how to do that, how to speak our truth in ways that really comes from our hearts, that aren't about, that do it in a way that don't attack other people. How do we say it in ways that people can hear it? It's, you know, I think this is probably really the challenge of our age right now, more than ever, is this challenge of how to communicating truth to others in a way that they can hear it. So we'll keep working on that together as a community for sure.
I'd like to say that do you hear me?
Yep.
That for a little while, I experienced the energy, presence, God in the moment, that whole thing. And it was wonderful, but it was very, you know, it faded away. But I realized that in order for me and all of us to deal with what's going on now, we need to have that presence. Otherwise, I don't know what's going to happen.
Yes.
It's going to affect us internally. And the whole subject of dealing with tragedy or terrible things, we have to learn to live with it. And I think that this practice will help us learn to live with it.
That's right. Thank you, Eileen. Thank you. And, you know, I mean, that's just a reminder too, you know, we've talked about the image a lot of the ladder, of Jacob's ladder, of the angels running and returning, that, you know, you whether it's in meditation or in life, you have that experience of that presence, and then it fades. And that's going to be the normal thing, right? It's going to be the normal thing. But the continual commitment, and this is where discipline, commitment, this aspect of gevurah, of strength, to say, I'm going to continue to reach for that place. I'm going to continue to reach for that presence over and over again, whether I do that in sessions like this on a Tuesday morning, whether I do that in my own meditation practice, whether I do that in, as you know, Maury had mentioned, trying to learn how to make my communication be, you know, more in line with my heart. Whatever those things are, that it is a commitment over and over again. And it's really, I want to say that commitment is an act of faith. It's an act of faith, because it sure feels darn overwhelming. And there are so many moments that come of doubt and despair, of like, what good is any of this going to do? Like, it seems like when we look around at everything that's happening, you know, and that's where that piece of faith that says, you know what, I have no choice. I have no choice, because the alternative of not living and being aware of this presence in this holiness, this godliness, is unfathomable. I can't, I mean, so thank you.
Thank you.
I have something where it's talking about, I just love it. If I am, what is that? What is the expression? I just love this.
This is the way I think to think about it. There are two if-then statements.
Okay.
So the first if-then statement is, if I am I because you are you,
Right.
then I am not, no, sorry. If I am I because you are you, and you are you because I am I, then I am not I and you are not you.
Right. Okay.
But if I am I because I am I, and you are you because you are you, then we can talk.
And that, easy for you to say, but and that I think that's so absolutely wonderful. I'm always fighting to accept how I feel, and to accept who I am, and to accept, I accept other people more, I think, than I accept myself. So I'm not going to repeat it, because that's easy for you to say, right? But I think that helps give each person an individual strength. And I think I'm going to be thinking about that. I meditated on it, and I'm going to be thinking about that quite a bit through the year, of diversion. I mean, just indecisiveness and all that. It is okay to feel the way you feel. It is okay to think the way you think, and to be true to yourself. So just that one little saying is so powerful for me.
I agree for me too. And the other piece of that, what's a motivation for me to also continue to be true to myself and my experience, is that allows other people to have the opportunity to be true to their experience,
right,
too. And
right.
We don't always think about that. It's actually a gift to other people, even if they don't like what we have to say. Ultimately, even if they don't like what we have to say, it allows them the opportunity to know where we stand, and then to have to either choose to embrace what's true for them or not. You know, and if they do take that step that we took and embrace what's true for them, even though they don't like what we're saying, then we have this opportunity to work it out. We have this opportunity to come close. We have this opportunity to be in relationship. But if I'm not gonna be me, if I'm not gonna own that, then I don't give those other people around me the opportunity to really live their truth in relation to me also. So it's it's not just for ourselves, it's for all of us, and it's for our relationships.
Yes. Yeah.
Rabbi, maybe you could put that up on the website. It's tricky, and I keep trying to say it, and I don't get it right. I know I don't. So if it were up, I could look at it and kind of put it in my brain, because I think it's very helpful.
I'm just writing in the chat. Maybe you can kind of paste it.
Okay.
Because I am I, then I am not I, and you are
Not you.
But if I am I because I am I, and you
You are you because you are you.
because
And
you,
we can talk.
then we can.
Okay, I am